Hi there, so today I want to talk about the Moon Meteor Storm Pro. So this is one of Moon's higher end all-in-one sort of integrated battery lights that they do. This particular model I believe is a 1600 lumen on 1700 lumen, sorry, on max power. It also boosts to a 2000 lumen mode for up to 10 seconds. So I've had this light now for probably about 3 months, and quite honestly all I can really say about it is it's a brilliant light, certainly for the price point at about £80. However, recent discovery has discovered a very substantial flaw in this light, and it's certainly kind of harks back to a potential lack of testing from Moon's point of view. So I've actually opened a case with Moon with regard to this issue and a defect as I see it, which I shall cover off shortly. Okay, so in terms of what you get in the box, everything is laid out here as you can see. We've got a user's manual, which has got full usage instructions in multiple languages. Also a breakdown of the light itself. We've got a couple of stickers from Moon. We've got a handy cleaning cloth for the lens, presumably. And we've got a cycle handlebar mount. We've got a cycle helmet mount, so you can head mount this for sort of trail use, etc. We've got the light itself, which has got a removable battery compartment on the back to replace the rechargeable batteries, which I believe are made by Panasonic, I think. We've also got a USB charging cable, and another rather nice, neat feature with this light is it actually comes with a handlebar remote. So this is a remote switch to replace the operation of this switch on the top of the light itself. So this is, again, it's just a USB plug, and it plugs in on the USB socket, which is fully weatherproofed on the underside of the light there. So I want to talk about some of the strengths of this light. It's not the lightest in the world. It is, however, exceptionally powerful for its weight. I believe it weighs in at about 200 and something grams, I believe. 215 grams, as you see here. And the recharge time is about 6 hours. In my mind, I think it's brilliant. I think it's lightweight for what it is. And I think it's hugely powerful, and I think the batteries last really well as well. I will show a demo of exactly what this light is like shortly in terms of power and the modes. But I have no complaints really. I mean, replaceable batteries, USB chargeable, twin Cree LED in there, which, as I say, outputs 1700 lumens and 2000 lumens on boost on its most powerful mode. In terms of the modes itself, they are 1700 all the way down through 150 lumens, and there's also some flashing modes on there as well. Quite why anyone would really want to use this light with a flashing mode is quite honestly beyond me, because firstly, as far as I'm aware, I'm not even aware that it's legal to use a flashing front light on a cycle in the UK, even though obviously we all do see cyclists riding with flashing front lights. But this particular light is so bright, even on its lowest setting at 150 lumens, that quite honestly, that flashing is very bright indeed. So moving on to this light's strengths and features, this is now running at its lowest setting at 150 lumens. If we cycle through the modes here, we're now at 1700 lumens. And what we're looking at here, my garden is approximately 70 to 80 feet long. As you can see, there's a very good beam pattern, and that really is indeed very bright. Moving down through the settings as we go down all the way through to 150 lumens, you get a feel for just how powerful this light is. switching on to the boost mode, so we're now at 1700 lumens, so I'm going to double press the button, and we are now at 2000 lumens, which will be on for precisely 10 seconds, indicated by the full beam logo. And after 10 seconds we will switch back to, there we go, back to 1700 lumens. So this is the flashing mode now, which I'm cycling through. As you can see, that if you were to be road cycling with any of those flashing modes, that would simply be hideous to any road drivers, so I'm going to gloss over those because they're not something that I would personally use. Right, so I've spoken about how good this light is, and I also mentioned that it does have a defect. And this particular defect is a big Achilles heel as far as I'm concerned. Now, this is something I discovered recently. We've had quite a lot of snow here in the UK over the last week or so, and I came home from work with this light on my my 29er. The bike actually stood up in the snow. It was so deep. I stepped back and took a photo of my bike standing up in the snow in my own garden. Shortly after I took this photo, my bike actually tipped over, so it fell from a stationary standing position, just 90 degrees, and it was actually the bar end that struck the ground. Now, this light actually flew off the bike. I didn't really think anything of it, and I put the light in my backpack and went to attach it to the bike the following day to discover what had actually happened and the reason it had released from the bike. So if I flip this mount over, you'll see on this side there's a substantial amount of the actual housing from the light itself which is missing, which is just broken away here. So if I separate these two parts, which I can do fairly easily without actually having to press the dedicated button to release this clamp, if we sort of zoom in a little bit on these parts, you'll see exactly what's happened here. So the light housing itself, it's sheared the entire corner of the housing off, and the actual mount itself, it's also broken the side off the mount here. So we've got no slotted rails on one side of this mount. So effectively there is no way of these two parts now staying together in a secure fashion without me actually physically replacing the mount, or you know, the most extreme case, really just bonding the two together and then rendering the helmet mount useless therewith from there on. So there we go, guys. I mean, that's my kind of honest review of this light. In my mind, this is quite a significant defect. If you can imagine, the light was on my bars in this position, my bike's tipped over this way, and the impact of the bar end on the far side of this light hitting the ground, and this is soft ground, by the way, with, you know, 6 or 7 inches of snow on the ground. The twisting motion of this light has essentially caused these two parts to just twist apart like that and snap both sides of the mount. So I don't know, realistically, you know, this is a trail light, and this should be able to survive at the very least a very light fall from a you know, a non-direct impact to the light and coupling itself. So from that point of view, this light, I can't really honestly give it a thumbs up because of this huge defect. So we'll wait and see what Moon have to say.